Hitler was born in 1889 in Braunau am Inn, a small town on the border of Austria and Germany. His childhood was strict, overshadowed by a father who demanded obedience and a mother who nurtured him tenderly. From a young age, he dreamt of becoming an artist. But fate had other plans. Twice, the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna rejected him. Those rejections cut deep, planting seeds of anger and resentment. He found himself drifting through Vienna, painting postcards to survive, watching a world that seemed to have no place for him. It was in Vienna that Hitler first encountered powerful ideas that would shape his dark vision: German nationalism, anti-Semitic propaganda, and the belief that destiny had chosen him for something greater. He read obsessively, feeding his frustrations with radical ideas. The failure of an artist was slowly transforming into the fanaticism of a future dictator. Then came the First World War. For Hitler, it was not a tragedy, it was a calling. He enlisted in the German army, serving as a messenger on the front lines. Through mud, blood, chaos, he found purpose at last. The war gave him discipline, comradeship, and the thrill of belonging. But Germany's defeat in 1918 crushed him. The Treaty of Versailles humiliated his nation, stripping it of land, dignity, and pride. Millions of Germans felt betrayed, and Hitler was among them. He would later call that day the greatest disgrace of his life. But in chaos, he found opportunity. After the war, Germany was in ruins. Poverty, inflation, and political unrest gripped the nation. People were desperate for hope, for someone to tell them their suffering had meaning. Hitler, with his fiery speeches and unshakable confidence, became that voice. He joined a small political group, the German Workers' Party, which he soon transformed into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazis. He was not a politician at first. He was a performer. His speeches were not cold facts, they were fire and fury. Crowds didn't just listen, they felt him. He spoke of betrayal, of enemies within and without, of a glorious German destiny waiting to be reclaimed. And slowly, people began to believe. But his first attempt at seizing power, the beer hall putsch in 1923, failed miserably. He was arrested, ridiculed, and imprisoned. Yet, prison turned out to be his turning point. Behind bars, he wrote Mein Kampf, his blueprint for the future. In those pages, he outlined his hatred, his racial theories, and his dream of a new German empire. What was once hidden in his mind was now a manifesto for millions to read. When he walked free, Hitler was no longer just a radical. He was a man with a plan. The Great Depression struck in 1929, and Germany collapsed once again into despair. Businesses failed, unemployment soared, and people were desperate for salvation. Hitler promised exactly that: jobs, unity, pride, and revenge against those he blamed. While other politicians argued in parliament, he filled stadiums. His voice echoed through microphones and radios, reaching every corner of Germany. He didn't just speak, he hypnotized. Think about it. How could a failed artist, a rejected dreamer, rise to become a national savior? Was it charisma alone, or the perfect storm of a broken nation searching for hope? By 1933, Hitler had maneuvered his way into becoming Chancellor of Germany. But he was not satisfied with power shared. Step by step, he dismantled democracy, silenced opponents, and unleashed fear through the SS and Gestapo. The Reichstag fire gave him the excuse to crush freedoms, and soon the Enabling Act handed him dictatorial authority. The Republic was dead. The Third Reich had begun. Behind the propaganda posters, the parades, and the promises of strength, Hitler was building something far darker. He turned schools into factories of ideology, shaping children into loyal soldiers of the future. He rearmed the nation, defying treaties and daring the world to stop him. And while Germany rose from its ruins into seeming prosperity, the shadow of his true intentions grew longer. One by one, opponents disappeared. Newspapers praised him. Crowds saluted him. Hitler was no longer the failed artist from Vienna. He was Führer, but power never satisfied him. He dreamed of conquest of an empire stretching across Europe. His rise was complete, but his ambitions would soon plunge the world into war, destruction, and genocide. Still, when we look back, the question remains, was Hitler's rise inevitable? Or was it the failure of others to stop him that made it possible? Could history have been different if people had seen through the illusion sooner? And that is the untold story, not just of a man, but of a world that allowed him to rise. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.